Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Fatmata here from Traditionally Inspired Meaningful Art, and today I wanted to share with you my fabric haul from my recent travels to France. So I went to Paris with my kiddos and my mom joined us. We had a lovely time. I'll talk more about the actual trip itself at the end. I did get to go fabric shopping while I was there, and I was on a specific mission to get fabric for a bridesmaid's dress that I'll be making for myself this year for my best friend's wedding that's happening in early May. So I had that in mind for sure, but also was excited to kind of see what else I could grab while I was there. I'll insert some clips now. I ended up going to the Sacré-Cœur. I know I'm butchering that name, and I feel like I know French just a bit, but I always overdo it with my pronunciation of stuff. Anyway, I went to that lovely structure and then knew that right down the street were a load of fabric stores. Well, how did I know that? From Aisha from the Crafterpreneur, because I'd been watching her hauls for ages now, and I remember when she went to Paris a couple of times and have shared that on her channel. So I'll link to those videos down below. I'll pop over and share with you the vlogs that I was able to take. On the first day, I went with my cousin Salima, who is out in France. She lives there and has been there for 8 years. She is also a sewist and primarily does a lot more of her own drafting, but it was nice to have her as a guide because she had favorite spots that she showed me and various things. We could actually talk through fabric choices. She was really helpful in helping me as I navigated asking questions to some of the sales associates in the stores because my French is lacking. So we enjoyed walking through the various stores together on my first round in the fabric stores. However, I didn't get anything the first day. I was so overwhelmed by the choices and was striking out left and right at various stores. I actually went with the fabric swatches. So I was looking for a terracotta fabric, but I was also open to any of these shades of orange. And for whatever reason, this is very, very hard to find. So it was a challenge and I was starting to feel quite defeated, but one of our visits to a particular store, we did actually find a fabric that was at least in the family. Then I had a second and then subsequently a third visit on my very last day before we traveled on Sunday, and I will show you some of the footage of me kind of exploring the stores on my own. That came up so quickly.
Yeah. I have a bunch of stuff.
Alright. Okay. Just things.
Yeah.
Just things. Let's see. Okay. And all down there. Look at that.
Yeah,
okay. So alright. How do you wanna do this?
I love going through the boxes, but I also love going inside, but also I can come here whenever I want, so I'll start with how you want to do it.
Yeah. I'm really on a mission. My best friend Janine.
Okay.
And I'm a bridesmaid, and I want to find orange pleated fabric. I'll show you the type that I have in mind.
Okay.
So it's a very specific type of fabric that I'd love to find if possible.
Okay.
But outside of that, I'm also open to other sorts of beautiful orange fabrics, and I have swatches.
This is the Instagram I follow. I love this place.
Huh?
They keep on the
Something. And you love their Instagram.
I love their Instagram.
Perfection. Oh, look at that. This. That looks cozy and
Looks like
comfy.
wood.
So overwhelmed I can't even. So I'm so intrigued.
I don't. There's one inside.
Okay.
So let's go to a different store.
Okay. Whoa. I have to remember to come back here. Just touching so many things. I love how woven this is.
Wait, let me see that. This is beautiful. Oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
You this be like a fun embroidery situation where you could embroider some parts that pop out.
So creative. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And this is like a wow. It's so light.
Yeah.
Done. Can we just quickly see? Is this 50% off? Would you mind asking an attendant? That is the first one that I've actually.
Yeah.
Do you see it on me? Do you see it
I
on
don't know
me?
who works here.
This gentleman that was
big
here.
on florals.
Okay. So I can't relate. So many beautiful things. All right. Oh gosh. What's happening here? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, more florals.
No, there's no reduction on this.
Okay.
There's no reduction.
Okay. Wow.
How much is it? It's only 20.
Yeah. This is the viscose. Oh, this looks so good. All right, stay here and wait for me, okay? All right, stay here and wait for me until I come back. Yeah, I see why you like this place. I'm into it. Like if I could find this type of fabric, something textured, I just want it to have texture. Like I'd really not want a flat, oh my gosh, look at these. All right, you're right. Let's go get the thing that I need.
The things you need.
Okay.
Then we can get the things you want.
Okay. You have said all the correct things. Stay here, okay?
Yeah.
Stay here. I'm just recording it so I remember what I liked. I'm sure this is going to be a... Whoa. 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 Look at that. Look at this, darling.
Oh, I love that.
Wow.
Did you see the blue?
Do you feel the body of it? Do you feel how much body it has?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, mashallah.
Yellow.
Oh boy, there's so much to take in here. Oh, and they have patterns back there. Okay, very cute, very cool. Very cute. Oh, the best selection of ribs you've ever seen.
Okay.
Yeah? Tell me more about this rib.
I don't know what to do.
Mm.
This was like I saw it and I felt immediately turned on. Do you ever feel turned on by fabric? Sorry. No, you know what I mean though. You know what I mean where you can feel like slipping onto your skin and you have the little dress and you're like, you know what I mean?
How you feel?
Yeah, that's how
Tell me,
it
that's
feel.
how you feel.
That's how I felt. Wouldn't you love to make an eyelet dress for the summer?
I
Can
would.
you imagine the Muslim eyelet dress? The Muslim eyelet for Muslim girls who wear hijab. You want to show a little skin.
You have to line it with cotton voile.
You got to.
You got to.
Ah.
Oh my God. Go. Oh. What is up with
This
these?
is stiff.
Cotton jersey legging. Fun.
You don't have any more terracotta. I found something similar though. Not close.
have that? So it would need to be then a natural fiber, you mean? Like if I got a polyester and then dye it with polyester thing? Yeah. I hadn't considered it.
Because if you got a nice enough feeling fabric that works for you, that will be good for May, and then you try to dye it.
Yeah.
It could work, because I found this one, for example, and it's nice and it's kind of ribbed and textured, which is what you were looking for, and it's soft and it's cotton and polyester. It's cotton poly blend. I don't know how much of it is there.
Not a lot.
$1.50 meters. But I'm sure we can.
I like that idea. I feel like then I wouldn't necessarily need to get it from here.
You wouldn't. That's true,
but it's a good
fun story, which is what counts.
I like the way you think, girl.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I love your fabric. Oh,
thanks to France.
Yeah, I got it in Paris and I had it personally dyed. How many people can say that at the wedding?
Not many.
Okay, we got a viscose, 4 meters of
Look
viscose,
at
but
this
it's 50
makes me so happy. The feel of this makes me happy. Which one?
This viscose is 4 meters of it, but it's 50 euros.
Yeah, I could find it.
I'm gonna go to that green velvet, see what it's saying.
Joy, with how many fabrics, my love?
1! I'm really proud of myself.
Very good. I was not successful at my search today, but I am taking stock of all the places. They're already closing. We came too late. So, another time.
Need you. I love you. I do.
Woohoo! What is this?
I'm single.
If you're in France. Look a sister up. Merci beaucoup. Good morning. Shaky camera morning. I have my trusty old backpack and we are on our way for round 2 of fabric shopping. And I am on my way now to go catch a bus to head down to the Sacré-Cœur. I don't understand where all of my French has gone. It's terrible. It might take me maybe about an hour to get there. So I'm off. It is, what time? It's around 9 something in the morning. So I might arrive just a little after the stores open. I believe they open around 10. It's a beautiful little walk. Hopefully the sun comes out later today. I hope. It's been very gray, but I think that's normal for like winter here, of course. But yeah, it's been good. 2 hours later, I finally made my first purchase. I'm very excited about that. I have a potential fabric for the bridesmaid's dress, not confirmed. I might go and pick up another fabric for it just in case. Wish me luck. So I'm back. This is round 3 now of fabric shopping. You can tell sort of where I am. And I had to get more of the bridesmaid's fabric. But now I'm gonna go ahead and walk around a little bit and then head back home. We leave tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed that very choppy but hopefully interesting vlog footage inside the various stores. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the haul at this time. I kept them in their bags so that I could share them with you, so if you want to screenshot and get the address and different things, you would have it. So at Marché Saint-Pierre, this is where I actually was able to find the bridesmaid's fabric I was looking for. So I ended up going for this really, really rich, almost like very tangerine-y sort of color. Again, the wedding is early May, and while terracotta was the color I was initially given, this is very close to some of the other swatches that my best friend is okay with us wearing, and this felt more in tune with like a spring sort of wedding, as the terracotta felt a bit deeper. So I went with this fabric, and it is a polyester satin fabric. I mean, honestly, it's not something to run home and tell mom about. Like, if I had found a viscose satin, that would have been the dream fabric. I went on Mood Fabrics because I know that they have like a viscose satin line, and they don't have orange. They don't have like an orange in this shade, and I was so disappointed because I would have been willing to at least pay those prices. I ended up getting this fabric, I think it was about 12 euros, 12 to 13 euros per meter, and I ended up getting 6 meters of it. That is a lot. However, I have no idea at this current moment what kind of bridesmaid's dress I want to make, and it was such a hassle to find it in this particular shade, and I initially only bought 3 meters of it. I came home and shared that with my mom, and I was like, I'm having second thoughts. Like, I only got 3 meters. I know I can make a dress out of even 3 yards, which is a little bit, I think, shorter than 3 meters. But for a bridesmaid's dress, I'm like, I might want a really full skirt. I might want some draping, some drama. And I would hate to not have enough and then struggle to find the same exact shade in the same weight. So I went back on my 3rd trip and bought 3 additional meters, which is why I ended up with 6. So a lot to work with here, and in case I have any issues or make a mistake, I do have extra, which makes me feel really, really happy, and it is approved by the bride herself. I mean, they had some gorgeous fabrics at this store. I ended up getting 2 cotton fabrics, and here is the first one. I actually took photos of some of the fabrics the first 2 visits when I went, and would just kind of see how I was feeling without, you know, having purchased them. And this is one of the ones that I absolutely missed every single time. I was like, do I really want to go without it? I love the smaller scale floral. I like this sort of deeper navy, almost dark teal background. I like the pops of the yellow, sort of mustard, orange, purple, and other blue colors in here. I just really like it. I got 3 meters of it, and I'm thinking shirt, dress, maybe, as I do with many things. I could also see myself using like white as the contrasting collar and cuffs. That could be pretty cool too. Then I got this very, very, very bold cotton fabric, and it's the print that did it for me. Now, in my color analysis, these were a lot of the colors that came up that are supposedly really good for me. And I think, right, like some of these deeper blues, the teal, the aqua colors, the turquoise, this sort of yellow, like a lemon yellow, the purples, etc. It's a bold print, but for whatever reason, it stood out to me a lot, and I thought about it quite a bit when I left, and it feels very like Dolce & Gabbana-esque to me for whatever reason in some of their collections. So I got 3 meters of this. I'm also thinking some sort of like button-up shirt dress. That is like my go-to thing to make and to wear, and I think in this print it'd be such a fun make for the spring summer. I think it'd be really nice with gathers and a full skirt and a lovely collar to show off this phenomenal print. Because both of those are cotton, I think they're going to be super easy to work with, so I cannot wait. Something that I think would be important to mention was that at Marché Saint-Pierre, you were able to buy fabrics off of like a bolt, off of a roll, which is different than a number of the stores that I visited after. Next up was Les Coupons de Saint-Pierre, and I love this store. They primarily sold fabrics that were already pre-cut, which is what I saw throughout many of the stores up and down that street. All right, I had to take a quick intermission, but I'm back. This was highly recommended by my cousin that I went with on the first day. She loves their Instagram, so I would say check out their Instagram as well if you plan to visit or just really love seeing great fabrics. This was one of the stores, like many, that I went into where the meterage was pre-cut, so they sold them in 3 meters cuts. And yeah, I thought that that was a really interesting thing that a lot of the stores did. They had some great discounted fabric as well laid out in front of the store, like in bins. I didn't need any of the things that I saw in the bins necessarily. Wish I did, because the prices were amazing, but nothing caught my eye particularly there. But inside, I did find 3 fabrics. So here's the first one. It is very loud, very bright. Again, it's one of those prints that I think I often have a lot of these colors in my color palette. So I love this really beautiful light blue background. I like the charcoal gray that's in there, the black, the reds, pink. So you see a lot of that. They have that bright Kelly green as well. That's usually pretty decent for my coloring. So with this fabric, what I'm thinking is a really nice floaty summer dress. So this is a viscose fabric, and it was 20 euros for the 3 meters. Then I picked up this gorgeous rust colored fabric. Now, if I would have been able to find a second cut of this, this would have been my bridesmaid's fabric for the dress that I intended to make, but because I could only get 3 meters of it, I was sort of chickening out, and that's why I got the other orange fabric. But this is also a polyester fabric, and this was 15 euros as well. But yeah, it's just really, really lovely. Then I happened to go in there another time and asked to charge my phone, and I thought it'd be rude to use their services without getting more fabric. So I got this gorgeous viscose fabric, and it has that turquoise in there, some black, this peachy color, this lemon yellow. It's a really gorgeous print. It's a smaller print as far as like the actual things on it, and it is also a border print. So at the very bottom you have this lovely border print here, which I think is so darling. It's very satin feeling, and I was shocked that it was actually viscose. It has incredible drape, as you can probably see here, but the fiber content being viscose made me really, really happy. So this was another 20 euro cut, viscose. And I was surprised that they didn't have more like sales in the store, given the time of year that it was right after Christmas. But yeah, that's what it was. Then I went into Sacré-Coupons. They have a couple of stores named this. Put what I think the actual name of the store is, but there it is down at the bottom there. They had a ton of incredible fabrics. Another place where most of the meterage was pre-cut, but then they had some wool fabrics and some other specialty things that were on rolls and bolts throughout the store. I ended up going for this fabric in the end. It is a lovely viscose fabric. Again, incredible drape. It has a twill weave throughout, and I just loved this design and the border. So it has this at both ends and in the middle as well. That's what you see here. So I cannot wait to play with the pattern placement here. 3 meters, and it was almost 23 euros. So 22 euros and 90 cents. There were some other lovely fabrics there that I did end up leaving behind, but at some point I had to let something go, you know? So I told myself. Then finally it was Sewist Reine. So this is another one of the bigger stores similar to Marché Saint-Pierre. So Sewist Reine had multi-levels as well. And on one of the top levels, I ended up finding these, what would I call them? Like embroidered patches? They're not patches, like these sorts of things. So I picked this one up. It was just so captivating. I was like, oh my gosh, look at her. And I love it. And then I also saw this one. And I really enjoy the colors here. They had 2 colorways of this fabric, and I ended up going for this one after giving it some thought. I like the turquoise, the teal, the yellow, lemon yellow, and all of that. So on the back side here, you can see it's like a woven. And these were about 5 euros each. So I was like, yeah, let me get that. In my mind's eye, as I'm wearing a bomber jacket, I could see this being like a patch on the back of a bomber jacket and then do some like quilted work around it or something like that. And for this one, I don't know if I'll keep both of them, but I like this one because I feel like it would go so beautifully with a denim fabric, given how deep that blue is. But if I don't end up keeping this, I might gift this to my best friend as well for her to do as like a patch on the back of a jacket or something. But I think it's gorgeous. And then I ended up having a little browse downstairs. While they did have really beautiful fabrics, I kept looking at the prices like, do I need to purchase any of these? Need is a strong word. But when I saw this viscose fabric, I couldn't believe that it was viscose. The drape of some of their viscoses, I'm like, viscose satin? What is this? It's like, look at this. It has a bit of body to it, which I really appreciate, but they only had 2.2 meters on the bolt left and no more. But I wanted to have this dark floral so badly. Again, these are many of the colors that show up in my winter color palette. So I've decided, especially as I was like shopping around, I was trying to consider my palette, as told to me by that free app. So I picked this one up, but I absolutely adore the print on here. Again, look at how fluid that drape is. It has a lovely sheen and luster to it. So I'm thrilled and really excited to use this. I have been known to whip up a dress out of 2 yards of fabric, so I wouldn't put it past me. But whatever this becomes, it's going to be just so decadent and awesome. This fabric was about 14 euro a meter, so it ended up coming up to about 30 some odd dollars. I think about 32 or so dollars for the meterage that I have here. So what I would say about my shopping experience, I know that I've been spoiled because I have a special place that I go to where I've acquired most of my fabric, if it's not thrifted or clearance, etc., etc. So it was interesting for me to be shopping at like regular priced fabric. And the pre-cut yardages was also an interesting thing, because there were definitely some fabrics where I could see myself wanting to have maybe 4 meters of fabric, or being okay with just having 2, and then, you know, ultimately having to sort of settle for either getting 2 bundles of the same print if you wanted more than 3 meters, and or just having the extra and having to pay for that. So that was an interesting concept. I'm sure it makes it a little bit easier possibly for them. I'm not really sure. But that was interesting. I wish that I was intrigued by some of the fabrics that were sort of outside, that were sale fabrics. There were some stores that had deals as amazing as like 3 meters for, you know, $10, or 3 meters for $5. I even saw some that were that low. However, when I looked at the actual fabrics, nothing was appealing to me in many of those bins. And I wasn't necessarily being lured in by those. So I can definitely tell that either my taste is going up, and I'm also just realizing what I like to work with, what I would actually wear, and I care more about that than just the price. There was definitely a bit of like, I'm traveling, this is my souvenir mindset happening, because yeah, it's often the case that when I travel, I end up spending a lot more on fabrics than I probably would if I'm just like at home. I find that my frugality like leaves the window. It just is out the door when I'm traveling for whatever reason. Please let me know in the comments down below if I'm alone. Is that just me? And what the heck is that? I've done quite a great job. I'm very happy that I came back with 2 great options for my bridesmaid's dress, and I cannot wait to dig into these fabrics to dream up what my dress is going to be. And I'm very much looking forward to working with each and every single one of the fabrics that I picked up in the coming year and years, because I know sometimes it's not going to be an immediate make. But I know each of them will make a really fabulous garment to go in my wardrobe, and I hope that all that coloring consideration that I made pays off. In other news, while I was there in Paris, my cousin that we went to go and see and visit had been wanting to learn how to sew. She watches the channel. Hey! I knew that when we were there that she was interested in purchasing a sewing machine. So she got her sewing machine. I had taken some items for her and had my mom brought over some items as well that I'd forgotten at home. So that was awesome. The things that we brought, and I'll pop it up on the screen here. There is a Singer like sewing kit, and I'm just popping it up on the screen because if you are gifting anything to like a new sewist, I personally think it's a fabulous little gift item, so that you don't have to be the one to think of like what is every single thing that a new sewist would need. So it's very similar to it's the same kit that we purchased for my mom when we got her machine a couple of 2 years ago maybe. So I think it's wonderful, and it had everything from, you know, the measuring tape, seam rippers, additional bobbins, thread in different colors, the additional hook and eyes and other closures like that, a seam gauge, and then many more things. I'll put it up on the screen. But it was a really nice kit to have, just so we knew everything was packed in there. Fabric scissors, right? Like all of those essentials. And then I also made a quick stop at TOTO, which is, I will equate it to like a Joanne Fabrics in Paris. I got her the longer sort of flathead floral pins, because the pins that were in the kit that we brought her they were shorter. And I really think having the flathead ones help you, to see it. It's a lot more visible, and I think a lot less likely to, you know, get like stuck in your fabric and you don't see it and then you accidentally sew over it. So we got a pack of that. I got her a magnetic seam guide, which has been so instrumental in my sewing in the past year or so that I've been using it. And I think for a beginner sewist, just having that guide there to know, okay, where am I at with half an inch or 5/8, etc., whatever measurement you want your seam to remain at, to have a guide to help you with that. I got her bodkin, I think is what it's called, the one that helps you sort of pull elastic through different channels, and some additional needles for jersey fabric as well. I had brought over some 1-inch elastic, like a ton of that, in addition to some of the sewing patterns in my stash that I felt like were beginner friendly, and 2 yardages of fabric. So I thought that that was like a good starting setup, and then we picked up her machine. She ended up going with a Janome Magenta 43, so we unboxed it together, and that was really cool. So she was able to kind of get everything set up, understand the machine, work out putting a bobbin in. It is a front-loading bobbin. It's not my favorite. I really like top-loading bobbins, but of the machines that were available at the store that we went to, that was sort of the best that we could get. And I know some folks who have had Brother machines and Janome machines that are the front loading and don't have any problems with it. It's one of those things I'm sure you'll just get used to. I've always been a top loading bobbin girl, so that's where my preference comes from. And then we got to work. So we got the machine in the second week that I was there, so there wasn't much time left to do like actual practice. But before I left, by golly, she made a skirt. So I was really, really excited about that. And I think that that is a good confidence boost for someone who's starting out, to be able to actually have made a thing. And I think along the way we were able to learn a bunch together. I found a bunch of videos directly for her machine and sent those over. So I'm really hopeful that with FaceTime and all of the other technologies available to us, that she is going to be picking up on this sewing thing very, very soon. But she definitely has the tools at the ready to get started. So I'll keep you all updated and see how that's going. But we're turning everyone into sewists, just one person at a time. It's going to be great. The trip itself, really, really great. The weather held up pretty well. I took a bunch of me-mades with me. So I had my cream and black buffalo check S9114 dress hack. I also took my S9114 in the dark floral print. And then I had my M8064, the knit navy dress. I took my self-drafted sort of double brush poly skirt, and that was really comfortable. And then a self-drafted dress that I made out of this autumnal colored sort of paisley print fabric that I made back in 2020. So that was really nice as well. Most of the makes that I was wearing on many of the days, we were there for 2 weeks, were me-mades, and that was really fabulous that I was able to wear a lot of my own makes while I was away. Most of them were dresses. All right, exit ticket time. So let me know in the comments down below which of these fabrics was your favorite. And I think I'll have to ask you all a little bit later about bridesmaids dress ideas, but I am looking for something that's going to be modest yet really like fabulous and fun, and maybe not as form-fitting, you know? And as I sign off, I'm actually going to leave you with additional footage of more of the fabrics that I had to unfortunately leave behind. It's really sad. Stay creative, my friends. Bye-bye. One of our favorite stores. This is the store that you brought me to begin with. Yeah. And I agree. It's fantastic. So, I like this. You should follow them on Instagram. Follow them on, what's their Instagram?
Le Coupon de Saint-Pierre.
It's the name of the store.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to remember these.
You would look really good in an olive green.
I would. That's such a beautiful pea green. I love it. This is a navy boucle. I don't know if the color's picking it up. And I love it.
You were molesting the fabric.
I was molesting the fabric. That's not nice to say. Look at this one. It's a lace and denim.
It's a denim situation.
Yeah. Okay. I have to go and remember that fabric that I saw over there. Lots of nice eyelets. I've acquired many eyelets recently. I don't know what do people do with these type of cotton waffle knits? They make like pajamas. I don't know what one does with this. Linen. Okay, wow, linen. Printed linens. Oh, we don't see this a lot. I don't get to see a lot of printed linens. Okay, I'll be back. Okay. So, what does that mean?
I don't know what my is.
I had some jerseys. Some sparkle. Okay. So I did see this. This is interesting. Fake leather. Hi, that's me. $30. What should I make with that? Talk to me. Tell me what I should make with that. Think about that when you get home and then come back. I feel like I like this, but I don't know if I love it, and that's my problem. I think this is the one that I touched when we first arrived. I don't know if I love it. And I know you can't relate.
I don't like this.
Yeah, I know. So I can't tell. Do you see me over there? Do you see me? I don't know.